Gotta relax.
This is Earth Radio. And now here's human music.
Human music. I like it. Gotta relax.
This is Earth Radio. And now here's human music.
Human music. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Hello, ladies and gentlefish. We are back. Oh, music as well. Ha, wonderful. Let's just fix this camera slightly. I should have done that ahead of time. Pro streamers and all that.
I had to stop and restart my stream there for a second because Pokemon. Oh my god, it's actually gone again. Holy crap! I just realized the game is not on the screen. The hell is wrong with this goddamn Poke game? Why does it not like to be streamed? It is such a simple game. Ah, oh, that's irritating. It was here. It was working. I swears it was. All right, I'm resetting my game. I'll be back.
Good luck, buddy. All right, we are kind of here.
It was literally working.
Ish. We are attempting to play Pokemon Emerald. If Clint Cog can get it to work.
It's not. Oh, here we go. It's screen capturing now.
Hey.
It stopped screen capturing before. I don't know why. It started and it was ready to go, and then it disappeared. I guess it's because it wasn't being touched or something. I don't know. But here it is, we're working, we're coming back. Give me a second. Today we are live with the New World Artist.
It's me! And C0gnitivebard.
And me!
Ho, ho, ho.
We were just live before with some Sea of Thieves, but now the both of us are live. So if you've been watching me, or if you're coming back around, make sure you go and also watch Artist, because he's way more interesting than I am. He even has a big beard.
Big bushy beard.
Oh, chap. Pointy hat, big grey beard.
I've got a beard comb as well, so I can be like our lovely beardy friend. And And
I
brush
wanted
the
to.
beard.
He was streaming today, and
Birchography.
I went in. Yeah, he was streaming today, and I went in with only the desire to make him poke the beard. But apparently, too many people had made him poke the beard, and so I couldn't redeem it.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Yeah, I was super depressed. I just wanted to poke his beard.
And then I hear that he rated out to the best Twitch streamer ever.
The shrimp channel, yes.
The shrimp channel, yeah.
It's a channel that consists of lots of shrimp.
Yes. Which
It was
is
just.
very tempting to stream into tonight, but we'll see how we go.
We'll see how we feel.
So, for those who don't know, we are playing through all of the Pokemon games from Red and Blue all the way up to Black and White, and then after that we'll see how we go about the newer games.
Doesn't matter if you're black or white.
So we're playing through the ones that we can currently use an emulator for. We are using Poke MMO, which is like a multiplayer client server of the original Pokemon ROMs. So if you'd like to use that, it is perfectly free. It does have some pay-to-cosmetic functions, but other than that, there's nothing in it that's too pay-to-win kind of thing. It's just the regular Pokemon ROMs, but you do need to have access to them. So if you have those, you can play this game. We are playing through C0g's first run through all of the games. So we've already done our Kanto run, which was fun. We had fun beating up Gary. We had some awful times, and some great times.
Fun. Fun.
Then we had to skip over Johto, unfortunately, because of some technical issues, and we are now on Hoenn with Emerald version.
Just hoeing around.
Just hoeing around.
Give me a second here. I've got like too much of this on my screen. I'm going to move that over there. And as you can see, I've got a lineup here at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say them names. You're just going to have to look. I'm sorry if you were just watching, because, you know, I've got a lineup here. Don't want to keep artists surprised. But we will name a couple of them. Yeah, that's right. I'm ready for you this time. You're not catching me off guard. Except you kind of already know what my plan is, so we'll see how your memory is.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. I have a lineup here which is all grass and electric, because that's the only two typings I'm allowed to use. That is my challenge for this run. The last run we did fire flying, which was good fun, and now we're doing grass electric, which is presenting some interesting challenges for me. And C0g has had a pretty good time of beating me thus far in our little challenge games at the start and end of each session.
Even though my starter was Combuskin, so like so grass doesn't do so well, but you've got like water types in there as well, which have been kicking Combuskin.
I've got one grass water, so it's not amazing at the moment. It could be better. We're going to get to the point at which it's a little better, but for now, it's not doing amazingly. Part of the problem is my electric types still aren't particularly strong against it either. And you've got a few fire typings in there, so we're struggling. We're struggling. But we're gonna keep kicking on. We're gonna keep on keeping on, and see how we go.
So, as you guys can see, my starter Pokemon was Combuskin, but I've also got a Pikachu, just like Artist.
Yep.
Blue Chew, named after the streamer Bluebird, and Artist also has a Pikachu. Bluebird is obsessed with Pikachus. She even changed her emote from a Bluebird hugging a heart to a Pikachu sitting and staring at a heart, just to show you guys how obsessed she is with Pikachus, and that is why they're all named after her. Oh gosh,
We are at our usual fighting tree.
Got all my Pokemon in my face. Give me a second.
Interesting start.
Yeah, so you knew I was going to do this though. I told you about it earlier. Let's see what you got. Thunder Punch!
Thunder Punch!
Really hurts.
Yeah, Thunder Punch. Now that is a good move on Tempest.
Blaze Kick.
Hmm. Hmm.
A bird, bringing in the Pikachu.
Yeah.
Glass cannons.
Glass, everything. Before. Oh, it's just a team
Ooh.
protection.
Yeah, but
raised
Parlez-Vous
defense move.
Francais was going to do a protection move as well, but wasn't fast enough.
Ah, that would have been very smart. Very tricksy.
Hmm.
Hey, Lizzie Bell in with the Wigglies
It's Lizzie
and the
Bell.
Bees.
This stream is sponsored by Lizzie Bell.
This stream is
She is
sponsored
probably human.
She's definitely human. Let's check. Yep.
Ouch. Rock smash.
Hey, Chuckster, how you going?
Hello,
Well,
hello.
either way, it's a great situation because one of the Pikas die. and your mum getting milk from the store. Yeah. Pretty much. I don't have low latency mode on because my internet is not amazing. It's already unstable, so...
Oh, you got the water pulse off. That'll be it. That'll finish me.
That'll be it.
Okay, you won. I don't think I have a Pokemon in mind for you yet, so I'll have to have a look. Hello, Freya.
Alright, let's make some room for a Pokemon. Oh, I forgot to check if this was counted as copyright under Twitch.
This?
Yeah.
I don't think so. At least...
it's definitely copyright music, it's just whether or not it gets flagged automatically under their system. I'll have to have a look.
Well, it hasn't yet. It hasn't yet. Yeah. And Mags gave us direct permission to use it, so...
Still isn't back after 6 years. Jeez.
Ooh, geez, dark.
Rough.
That's rough, buddy.
But a nice change of pace from the usual. Oh, from the usual father's not coming home. You know, equal opportunity awful.
Equal opportunity awful. Well, they're not both parents, they just run away and leave you behind.
Alright, so we recently beat and got the heat badge. Yes, built
Beat
building.
bop.
Built beat bop zippity bop.
Zippity bop 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 bop, I'm a scat man.
Oh, you know. So, let's...
Skibby-doo-ba-doo, bop-bop. Skibby-doo-bop-bop.
There it is. Where is it? There it is. There's my heat badge. Whoop, there. Which is exciting.
Thunderbolts and lightning.
Galileo.
Galileo.
Your dad's great? That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Have you found a Pokemon to give me yet?
Oh yeah, I was supposed to give you a Pokemon.
Did you just run off without it?
I forgot. I got...
What a shit.
Attention deficit moment.
Uh-huh.
Oops.
We're getting so many spam calls recently. It's very annoying.
Ooh, I got one for you.
Yep. Yarp. Oh, Cacturn.
The Cacnea.
Cacnea.
Hackney Kai.
That becomes Cacturn, I believe. That's an interesting one. Grass Dark type. Or
Yeah, well, I thought I might give it a go myself, but it looks like one that you could use too. So
one that I could actually use, yeah.
Yeah, might do you some good.
I'll have to see where it fits in the lineup in further down the line. All right.
Well, with dark on it, probably get maybe not crunch, but something.
Yeah.
Just gonna. So where do we go now? Where do we go from here?
That's a good question.
We kind of won, so we sound our victory cheer.
I'm pretty sure we go up to Fortree City. So we go to the right-hand side and then north, following the...
So up and then right, or just straight right?
No, just straight right. I think we go this way.
Path?
But we don't have surf yet.
So there must be someone that gives us
Must. Must
burp.
indeed. And burp. Trying to remember. Where
We've
we're
got
supposed
some
to
of
go.
artists' weird music picks for the adventure playlist playing at the moment.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, look, I know it's a little bit weird, but I don't mind it. You know, it's all right. I appreciate your music taste. You also have a Magnemite. What's with all these Magnemites? Do they like... Do they think there's some kind of like vitamin? Some kind of steroids or something?
Maybe they're using them to power the bikes so that they don't have to like pedal.
That feels like cheating.
A little bit.
Swift and quick as shadows we must be.
You fighting Gollum?
I watched a very lovely video on the psychology of Gollum. I loved it.
Did you?
Yeah, very interesting video. Now, obviously, Gollum has dissociative identity disorder. It's very, very obvious case.
Fair.
But it goes into the psychology of why that condition develops and why Gollum developed it in particular. Because not everyone that gets the ring becomes like a split personality.
Well, from my understanding, the ring takes extremes of the person. So the effect it has and the magic it has is based on who the person is. The reason why it gives the Bagginses invisibility is because they themselves are sneaky. Sorts of people.
Anyone who picks up the ring will turn invisible to the spectrum, except for Sauron. Because it pulls you into the Wraith world. It half pulls you into the Wraith world, so it's more like being out of phase.
Interesting.
But it does definitely it takes what is already there and magnifies it, which is why Gandalf won't take the ring, and why the Eagles can't carry the ring. Or shouldn't carry the ring.
That's just silliness. The Eagles could have entirely flown them.
No, they couldn't.
They could have.
Like a host,
they could have.
It
was just lazy writing on Tolkien's.
He considered that, and there is a host of reasons why the Eagles can't do it.
Lazy writing. You disconnected, you had to explain to your stepmom the difference between baling and harvesting. Fair.
Pretty stark difference between those two words.
I mean, yeah, in the end outcome, but I guess the point being that you still are cutting the wheat.
In the grass under the windowsill there. They'd be dropping the leaves, honest. Wait. Oh, baling like making bales. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought baling like bailing a ship, like removing water. Baling. Oh.
I mean, you could also take that meaning as well. Words mean lots of things.
This is true, but I hadn't considered the, like baling as in creating bales, hay bales.
Oh, I assumed because the other word was harvesting.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
Context clues. So the ring would make anybody invisible. That's not how I had understood it, but I haven't read the book, so I don't know. So that would explain why. I've only ever seen the mobs.
Also, the ring wraiths aren't visible. They exist in the wraith world. They have they wear armor and cloth trappings and can interact with the physical world, but they're half in the wraith world.
Yeah, I knew they were half in, half out, but I didn't think that was because of
They're like glorified ghosts with a little bit of extra oomph.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes.
I didn't think that was a thing specific to the rings themselves. I didn't think that happened with all the rings. I thought that was specifically the rings they were given. That was part of the corruption.
Well, as they got corrupted, they slowly got trapped in that state of being, and they can't leave it now. They're like unable to die. They're eternally in that point of agony. The One Ring itself won't like do the same thing. It doesn't keep you in the Wraith world indefinitely, only if you're wearing it.
Interesting. I'm going to have to do some research.
Lord of the Rings, very fascinating. It's good time to do it too with the new show coming out.
That's it.
But Smeagol specifically, so obviously the ring takes what's in you and it like amplifies it, especially your darkness. Hence why, again, like powerful entities like Galadriel and Gandalf could not have the ring. But what's interesting is the way they explained it, because it's a psychologist explaining Smeagol's psychology here. And he's explaining that the other personality is like Smeagol's protector, in a sense. He creates because he wants to maintain his innocence. So Smeagol himself disassociates from his actions when he kills his friend, and when he kills and hunts and all of that jam. He disassociates and creates this new persona to protect him. And that's what Frodo sees in him as well. As soon as you start to comfort and care for a person like that, you can heal, make a big change. Which is where we come to the big oof, the only thing that Sam Gamgee ever did wrong. It's arguable because in the context of what they were trying to do, he still probably did the right thing. But theoretically, the only thing he could have done wrong is by not being united with Frodo in trying to help Smeagol, because all the bad stuff happened to them because they weren't united in looking after Smeagol. He was constantly bullying him.
I mean, was it bullying or was it just keeping him at a healthy distance? Because they knew he was...
Definitely bullying. Definitely bullying.
Knew he was a bit of a shit.
Well, so the kind of stuff he was saying to him, like constantly calling him stinker, pulling on his rope just whenever he could, it was unnecessary cruelty. Like you could argue that he didn't want Smeagol around because he was a danger, but the unnecessary cruelty that he committed towards Smeagol is part of the reason that Smeagol's protective personality resurfaced later on and was able to get the better of him.
Fair.
I think Lizzie Bell would be a better person to discuss that topic. Lizzie Bell's read the books, right?
I don't know if she's read Lord of the Rings. I'm unsure. Have you read Lord of the Rings?
Pardon?
Have you read Lord of the Rings?
No, I've watched it.
No, she's watched it.
From watching it, you can still ascertain a whole lot. You can still have an opinion on that. Oof, my poor sunshine.
We're such nerds.
And that's why people come.
Is this the right Jime? It is.
Can't afford to fight any more of those people. They'll squish my pokies.
Left is the speed room, right is the accuracy room. I think I want to go down the speed room.
I'm just supposed to keep going down, right?
Yeah, go all the way down and then take the boat back to Dewford, something. And then you need to make your way to Petalburg. So once you're in Juford, then you go back and go to Petalburg.
Ahoy! For you, I'll go out to sea any time. Oh. Now, my friend, where are we bound? Wait, Juford? Was it Juford?
Juford.
Okay.
And then after Juford, Petalburg.
Yeah, so to accept. So from here to Petalburg. Alright, I'm gonna heal my Pokemon. This is what I'm gonna do.
That's a good plan.
My Pokemons. It's good that it's at the top. Makes it easier.
And then after you have made your way to Petalburg, you go to the right-hand side, and then beat the gym, which is where I'm at now.
You giving it a go straight away?
Yeah.
Diving head first into it?
Diving head first.
What kind of gym have we got over here?
So this is the balance gym, and this is a weird one, because you verse different things based on which room you decide to take. I'm trying to remember what Norman's stuff is. So you have sort of two options here. You can just push forward to get to the gym leader.
Or I can fight them all.
Or you could go through and fight them all. It's probably decent XP to fight them, because they have reasonably high level Pokemon, which you won't be finding in the world at the moment.
So presumably that's what you're going to do. Well,
that's what I'm doing currently, but that
the
takes
Pokemon
time.
get higher after every time you fight the gym. It's not the gym. After every time you fight the trainers, so they should be getting higher by now.
It's based on the area you go to. So as we continue going through areas in the world,
so it's different. It's different to the first one.
No, it's the same as in the first one.
Well, in the first one, every time I fought them, they got bigger. Or is it?
It's just
they
area.
get bigger based.
Yeah.
So if you go to a bigger area, it like raises all of the trainers worldwide.
No. It's which route you're on. So in Route 1, they're all low level. In Route 2, they're slightly better. In Route 3, they're slightly better. And
they didn't stay
the same.
low level though.
They stay the same unless you go back to fight them.
That's what I said, yeah. So if I go and I fought them all once, so now if I fight them again, they'll be slightly higher.
Yes.
Yeah. So they will have more XP and money that they'll give me.
Yeah, but then you got to go back and find them and find them.
Yeah. The confusion ribbon. Oh, yeah, here we go.
But yeah, I was just meeting the Pokemon in the wild. You won't find many Pokemon in the wild this level yet. Not in the areas that we're at.
Nope, I didn't move fast enough.
Oh no.
Alright. A little bit of lag too. The hell, Teeter Dance? That's weird. Don't hurt yourself. Don't do it. Yes. Don't do it, son. Don't hurt yourself. You've got so much light in you.
What shit.
Don't hurt yourself. Yes. Rock Tomb. Ba-ba-bam. We are going to put the XP on the Bellsprout because we want to level up Bellsprout. They are my primary grass type, so. I always liked the look of Bellsprout, but then Vileplume wasn't my thing.
No?
Yeah, like a big, weird-looking cucumber or something.
It's supposed to be like an orchid. Like a
It does look pretty awkward.
like a trap. One of those bell
Venus
traps.
flytrap?
No, not
Or
quite a
bell
Venus
trap?
flytrap.
Oh yeah, the bell traps. Yeah. It certainly does. It does look like that. What is this? Zangoose. Too fast for me. Sorry, Crocorock. Yeah, drop that accuracy. Teach you for having Pokemon and doing battles with it.
Teach you to have a Pokemon.
I'm gonna get confused about which ones I've fought and which ones I haven't.
Yeah, that's sort of the bit I'm at. I think I'm up to the one-hit KO room.
If I was thinking about like doing them all, I probably should have like done it one side up and then.
Should have done it in order.
Yeah. I fought this guy, and this one was the defense room. Definitely fought defense. And this was the attack room. No, this was the confusion room. Okay. Yeah, fought strength. The KO, the one hit room. Hey, there you are. Hey, buddy.
There I am, fighting the Vigoroth.
Vigoroth. Oh, it's the name of a Pokemon. I thought it was the name of a person. I was like, what a name.
That is quite a
Greetings. I am Vigoroth, son of Taserface.
Taserface? Who calls the child Taserface?
Is that one hit? Is it gonna be enough? It's super effective. It's not enough. Mud slap. We might get one more mud slap. Yes. Alright, we've dropped their accuracy twice, so we'll bring in... We'll give Blue Chew a go. Blue Chew's quite weak, so it might get a hit, but we'll give him a go. Haha! Missed! Now we use Rock Smash. It's gonna hit with that, probably.
It's not a particularly strong move, though.
No. But that's alright. It's given me some XP.
Very good.
Actually, maybe use Spark as well to paralyze. There we go. Slow it down even more. Didn't paralyze though, unfortunately, so we might lose Blue Chew. Never mind that XP. Blue Chew's not getting XP today.
Rip.
The whole purpose. I should have swapped Blue Chew out, but whoops.
Probably.
I'm in here with a Zen Headbutt. Should finish it off.
Zangoose. I always thought Zangoose looked really cool. But also it's got that like edgy punk thing going on.
Zangoose.
Yeah. Zangoose. Motherfucker.
I like this. It's got that kind of fluffy kitten look to it. Like,
A little bit.
And you kind of want it to curl up at the end of your bed, but you know it's going to shred your furniture.
Oh, absolutely. With those fucking claws?
Imagine if it did one of those weird stretch things that the cats do. I don't know if your dog does or dogs do it, but it's like where they like lean up on you and they stretch out and their claws just kind of extend and then as they're stretching.
Dog's claws don't retract or extend, so not really, but she does do like a full body stretch sometimes. It tends not to be on ours though, because she's giant.
This door's locked. Oh, they're all locked. Okay. Oh, that's because I haven't fought the accuracy.
I was going to say
yet.
that would be because you haven't beaten someone.
Delcatty.
What
a strange looking Pokemon.
It's a kitty Pokemon.
I've not seen this one actually, and I've looked up cat Pokemon.
It's the evolution of Skitty, the normal type cat Pokemon.
This is the accuracy one, right?
I believe so, yeah.
They missed every shot so far.
Yeah. It's an interesting choice, this room system. I'm not sure that it actually does what it says on the packet. Gym leader's room, there we go.
Oh, I got immobilized by love.
Oh,
that happens a lot actually. We've all been there.
We have all been there. It happens.
That's gonna hurt, but it's alright. Take a little bit of pain.
Alright, let's see if we can beat Dad. Let's see if we can beat up our own father.
Have you finished all of them?
I have.
Alright.
Vigoroth first, that's fine.
They're all normal types, like you said?
They are all normal types.
Full lineup, all 5?
I believe so, yeah. They do have non-normal type moves, but nothing particularly bad.
Oh, I've already made it. Yeah.
That was an interesting choice. He pulled out he pulled out one of his Pokemon, swapped it out for a stronger Pokemon that instantly got paralyzed by the attack, and then used the move Eject to swap out to another Pokemon for some reason. And at the point it swapped out to the other Pokemon, that Pokemon then had a held item, which immediately caused it to be poisoned. I don't know why this guy's a gym leader. Apparently your dad in the game is just
is his name Zap Brannigan?
Apparently. I sent wave after wave of my own men and Killbots.
That was how I defeated them. I am epic.
I knew that they had an internal kill limit, and once they reached that limit, they would automatically shut down. So I sent wave after wave of my own men valiantly against them until they reached that limit and shut down. And that's how I defeated the Killbots.
We'll go back and watch some more Futurama at some point. It's such a good show.
It's pretty good.
They should have quit Simpsons and just kept doing Futurama.
Yeah.
Or both. Both is good. I like Simpsons still, just Futurama's better.
I think the problem with Futurama, if they kept it up, would be the same problem that Simpsons now has, which is that it's kind of gone beyond its like time period. It's gotten past the point at which the original jokes that it was sort of known for are now sort of no longer really accepted broadly, or thought to be, clever. And then
It's still really funny. Like, I still enjoy it.
yeah, the newer stuff.
A lot of people don't, but I still do. Yeah, I still think it's not as good as it used to be, but that could just be my nostalgia talking. Like, arguably, I think it was allowed to get away with more things, and therefore, like, they were funnier, to be honest. Like,
well, that's it. Like, I think it was better back in the day when they could get away with more, and then also when the stuff they were, the stories that they were telling were a little bit more, timely and hadn't been done before. A lot of the, like, making reference to things, and the sort of intertextuality of it, like talking to various different things and making the references and stuff, was sort of much newer, whereas now it's pretty commonplace for something to do that. And given that The Simpsons is basically that for the entire time, it feels like it's been done too much for a lot of people.
this guy kind of looks like your dad, actually. He had some hair, long, like, colourful jacket going on there too. Yeah, I can see it.
A little. I don't know if I see it completely, but a little.
The spinder's gonna be faster than me, so I'm not gonna even bother.
Motherfucker.
But yeah, no, fair. It's still very important to note, though, that we are older now, and, like, so the jokes that we find funny are different to the newer generations. Like, there's a lot of people that watch Simpsons that still, like, are going to enjoy those jokes, and I still think it's humorous. I still enjoy watching it. Futurama could have, like, evolved as well, because they had a different dynamic in Futurama, that each episode it was progressing on the story from the last one.
Ish. Kind of.
How do you mean ish, kind of?
Well, a lot of the stories were standalone stories. The ones that were, like, continuing a storyline were rarer than the majority. In the same way The Simpsons, like, there was a progressing storyline across the entirety of their seasons, but the majority of them were standalone stories. It's a pretty common American...
Oh, well, no. Not so much. In The Simpsons, they never aged. They never got older. There were things in there that changed the world, and it has this weird sort of infinite universe paradox thing going on with it. But in Futurama, they progressed in the years. Like, each year was a new thing, and every time there was an episode and new things happened, it was a part of the story. It was each episode.
Yeah, that did happen in The Simpsons, though. In The Simpsons, like, characters die and never come back, and, like, things happen in the world, and they get referenced later on in the story.
But they all stay the same age. Whereas in Futurama, they did grow. They changed.
Ish.
Time progressed.
But not significantly. Across all 7 seasons, nothing vastly significant changes.
In Simpsons Christmas episodes, they reference, like, very occasionally they'll reference things that have happened in other Christmases, but most of the time it's just assuming it's the first Christmas for them at that age. Whereas in Futurama, they'll reference the last Christmas that happened as it was last year. A whole year has progressed, and it's another year with a new Christmas, and the characters have all aged and changed as well. They don't change much. Like, physically, they look pretty much the same. They've got the similar designs, but they have aged and changed. It's like the new one that they've released is like that too, where as the story moves along, it's actually more driven by the plot as well.
There's
like as the story drives on.
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily the kind of... It's kind of the case, but not massively.
I'm telling you, go and watch Futurama again, and you will see the storyline progresses.
But in the same way that the Simpsons storyline progresses,
it's not
pretty
the same
much
as
the same thing.
It's not the same as the Simpsons.
The Simpsons does reference the fact that, like, oh, you know, we've been this age forever, kind of thing, as a joke about the fact that they're older. Yeah. But like they do progress throughout the series, and things change and they stay changed, and that's a big point in the Simpsons. But
it's
like
not the same
across
as...
the whole series, that happens a lot. But it still has self-contained stories in the same thing of Futurama, where they have self-contained stories that don't change anything, and then they have story arcs that like have things that develop over time.
Yeah, they have a lot of. So actually, they have a lot of story arcs. So they have a lot. Each season has a story arc that crosses over the entire season, whereas Simpsons is more orientated around self-contained episodes. They might have a couple of special episodes, one after the other, relating to something like Who Shot Mr. Burns. But Futurama, it's like they are season-wide story arcs. Some of the things that happen play into the story many seasons later, without giving away any spoilers if you haven't watched it yet. But yeah. I'm telling you, it's different. It's not the same as Simpsons.
Okay.
I say you could Google it, or you could watch it.
I just still don't necessarily agree, because that also happens in The Simpsons. But
I'm telling you, you can Google it when we're done with the gym leader.
I know what you mean. Like there's the like the brain creatures and stuff like that. But that's like they're self-contained stories that reference previous stories, and there is a long-running story arc throughout those randomized episodes throughout seasons. But that happens in The Simpsons as well. There's references to stories that develop over time, like the Van Houtens and things like that. They're not as clear because they're not big stories that involve everybody, but there is developments of stories within certain characters, and therefore character arcs that develop over a series of seasons, and that is itself a character arc. Like the Van Houtens go from being a loving family, a loving couple, to being a weird divorce,
and that stays.
Yeah, and that stays, and that's a character.
There are weird.
Things like that.
There is like character development and stuff. Yeah, but they never age. Whereas in Futurama, they are aging. The time is progressing, like actual time is progressing, like a normal show.
But the people
like Rick and
don't.
Morty, like that's a shot.
That's a shot.
But the people don't,
do
change a little bit.
And the characters do change in
Fry and Leela specifically. Fry and Leela specifically go through a lot of different evolutions in their relationships and their... I'm saying, Google food. Do it. Google it right now.
All right, I'll Google it later. I don't think it's any different to The Simpsons, and I think it was intentionally done that way because it's made literally by the same people. They took the formula for The Simpsons and they applied it to a sci-fi setting. Well,
but so is it Disenchantment? That's made by the same people too, but it is also... Like Futurama, it's a progressive show. Each episode takes place in like so and so many days after the last thing that happened. Whereas Simpsons has a weird kind of
the problem I have with this idea is that you're taking the Simpsons timeline to say that it doesn't have any time progression, and it does. It's just that the time progression is not literally one-to-one. It does have weird things.
Simpsons time progression is non-linear.
And it also has a weird thing where, like, the characters don't seem to progress in age significantly. It's not like a year-to-year-to-year thing within our parallel 2 year. It's not one episode is exactly, 1 day or 2 days or whatever.
No, yeah,
but the characters are still getting older. The characters are still sort of developing in the world, and time is still progressing in their world.
Yeah, but it's non-linear, whereas Futurama and Disenchantment are linear time progressions. Oh, I think I'm going to lose this gym.
Oh no, buddy. I have defeated the gym. I've got my balance badge.
It's because I'm sitting here arguing about Simpsons.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the problem you have.
I'm telling you, it's non-linear.
You can keep telling me if you want.
Google it, you'll see. I think at least I'll get the Slate King.
So...
We might get the Hitmonlee.
Hey, Surf. I can finally use Surf.
Hey. So I'll unlock Surf after this as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think part of the problem with it as well is it's the idea that The Simpsons has been going on for so long, and they needed the characters to not really develop.
Yeah. So The Simpsons is non-linear by design, but when they brought out Futurama and then later Disenchantment, they focused on it even more with Disenchantment. But in Futurama, they have linear story progression. But they also use adults as the main focus, so the kids, there's no kids there that don't ever age, and like
I mean, there's definitely
Farnsworth's
characters that don't get older.
Farnsworth's
In all of them.
birthdays. Well, yeah, sure. Like, theoretically, the robots don't have birthdays as much. I mean, actually, there are episodes where Bender has birthdays. Never mind. But they move on up in numbers, as opposed to Simpsons, where it's always the same birthday. They're always the exact same age. I think we want
Have you won?
Bellsprout. No, I'm swapping out. So I've also got Marowak, might be good for this too, I reckon. What's my Marowak got? Alright, I'm gonna try again.
Good luck. But yeah, back to the point that actually brought this all up.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I think people's issue with The Simpsons, the newer Simpsons anyway, is that it's a lot of stuff that's kind of been done before, and has been done before by The Simpsons specifically as well. They even like make jokes in reference to it that like, oh, we've done this pretty much exact episode before.
Yeah, they do.
And
it's where they break the fourth wall.
yeah, and so like people are getting like, oh, this is getting old, this is getting a bit trite, and then they're trying to do things that they've done before, but do it in a way that then doesn't step on toes. And it's like, well, you did it well the first time, and yes, it was, you know, a little crass or whatever, but it worked, and now you're trying to do it again in a way that's actually poorer than it was before, and so people tend not to like that as a thing.
He did the eject button thing.
Yeah. I don't know why
So
it's
weird.
doing that. It's so weird.
I agree with you. It's not as good. Simpsons to me is not as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
Whereas Futurama it kept its hype, and in fact, some of the later seasons, the newer seasons, are actually really fun, and I enjoy them more than the earlier ones. But
I think it got,
that's the
like, episode by episode, some of it wasn't as good, but, like, you could
Yeah.
say that about the early seasons as well. It was just kind of, some of their episodes were hit and miss. And that's reasonable with any series. You're going to get to the point where some of them aren't good, because you can't always hit every note. But also,
Well,
they didn't
Firefly-
last very long.
Firefly,
They
you
got
can
7
sometimes.
seasons.
Firefly, sometimes you can hit every note. Once in a while.
Eh.
Oh no! Oh no!
No, I love Firefly. I think Firefly hit every note, but also it's one season. Like,
Yeah.
you
One
can
season?
have made one season with nothing bad in it if you spent the entire time thinking about how you were going to craft this story. If it had gone to its second and third season like it had planned, I think it would have gotten worse, because as much as I love it, Serenity, the movie, is not great. It's good.
Not compared to the series.
It's good, but
it's a decent movie,
not
but it's
great.
not good. Not compared to the series.
Yeah, and that's the point. Is like, if they were going to continue in that vein, clearly they didn't have the staying power to make all of it awesome forever. So the fact that it cancelled meant that they sort of saved themselves from.
Well, I think the
that.
problem with the movie is that they were trying to wrap up so many story threads all in one go, whereas if they... And it was a good movie. Like, they didn't do a terrible job. Just give them more time with the series. Like, look at the rest of Joss Whedon's work around that time. Buffy and Angel. Like, I loved those shows, and I thought Angel was... At the time, when I was younger, I thought Angel was an improvement on Buffy. As I've come older, I'm kind of like, they're on the same level for me. They've got different vibes. And I was just more into the Angel vibe at the time. But
That's
like they were consistently good, and the only problem I could find with both of them was the endings. The endings left me unsatisfied. Buffy's was pretty good, and Angel's was just like, what the fuck? Why are you ending like this?
There was a lot of stuff in Buffy that I was like, but why? There's a lot of stuff in Buffy that made me think, why did it need to be that particular way, and is there not a better way for this to have been done? Just like the mechanics of how, the Slayer and being a witch and all that kind of stuff. Like any of those things, it seems like there could have been a much better way to fight evil, to fight hell. But
the Hells, plural.
Yeah. But that kind of thinking and that idea, as the series progressed, and you're like Willow becomes a witch, and Giles is like a force to be reckoned with on his own, and you're like, okay, well, what was the point in like the Slayer, and why is there only one Slayer, given that like there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can get multiple Slayers, or that like all the Slayers can be Slayers at once. It's just like, okay, you really could have done this at the start, or you really could have changed some of the mechanics to make it more interesting, but like it serves the story as a function, I guess.
Well, I mean, they didn't they didn't have the power to do what they did in the season finale of Buffy. Not to spoil it too much for anyone. Spoilers. We might talk about spoilers. So
we're always going to talk about spoilers. Just assume we're going to spoil any show we talk about.
Something, yeah. But so they didn't have the power to create like a bunch of Slayers in the beginning.
Yeah, I know.
It was,
but
it was
the
very...
fact that that's the case is fairly arbitrary.
Given
that it's possible.
It was an experimental magic, though.
Yeah, but given that the Slayers have been around forever, and that there's a secret society of groups of people working together to manage and maintain and train these Slayers, that they couldn't have come up with these sorts of things because they already kind of existed as concepts prior to that point. It was experimental, but people knew about it as a thing.
As a thing? Oh, well, so no, there'd never been more than one, and nobody even believed it was possible until the Buffy series, when there was an incident, Buffy dies, and another Slayer is born, and then Buffy's brought back, and suddenly there's two people with Slayer power.
Yeah, but that concept, the fact that a Slayer dies and a new Slayer comes about, but people can be revived, or that there's a period of time where...
Shouldn't be, though. That's like breaking the rules heavily, and there was a huge price in the show for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they got in trouble. They got in trouble for that. They were only allowed to resurrect Buffy by the god's will. The god, I think it was Anubis that they were calling on, because it was by supernatural means, but it still was a dark spell. And it pulled Buffy out of a heavenly plane. So it ripped her out of her, her happy place, basically.
Yeah.
Oof. This Slate King is nasty.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to knock him down.
He's big defense. Difficult to very heavy damage dealer.
Prokhorov. Well, I expected you might have had more problems with the way they portrayed witchcraft, but because of your background in the druidic and shamanistic practices.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty common thing in popular culture.
Oh, yeah.
Shitting on witches and witchcraft and displaying it the way they display it. It's a very Wicca-heavy and very judgmental view of it. It's a general thing that is annoying, but like you kind of have to just get used to it because that's the way the world is.
Yeah.
Alright, where do I need to go next?
Oh, I'm really struggling with this gym, aren't I? It's this Slate King. Is he the one that was screwing you over as well, or?
No, the Vigoroth got me. I managed to get the Slate King pretty good because I paralyzed it.
Ah. I've got the Slate King down now, but I've lost a lot of Pokemon. I'm using revives. I'm at that point. Itself. Amazing. Alright, submission. Ooh, it did. Oh no. Never mind, it got me first. It's super fast. Damn it.
Alright.
Why is it so fast?
Go to the abandoned ship.
It's faster than all my Pokemon.
Who?
The Lino one.
The Lino
one?
Yeah. The Lino is fast.
Crazy fast.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's use Cosmic Power. Let's play a little bit of long game here if I can survive. Okay, Cosmic Power. We're gonna play the buff game. We're gonna buff the sun up.
And then hope.
And then hope. We've only got normal potions though. I've got like one good one left. Poisoning itself to death, so if I could just outlive it.
Yeah, that was my lucky thing of like as soon as it came out it badly poisoned itself and I was like, haha! Score! Don't have to worry about you anymore.
Do I not have... Oh, there we go. I do have a full heal. Wait. Hypers are weaker than full heals, aren't they?
Why is Mr. Pony not here? God damn it.
I have the potion. There we go. We're making myself so tough that it's not doing much damage to me. And it killed itself!
Hey. Making my way downtown.
Ooh, I got 1000 XP for that one. Enter Zangoose. You'd always want to see a spin-off of Buffy that they were planning called Ripper. It was going to be about Rupert. Young Rupert. But it would have had a different... It would have had a different actor, so it would have been a different vibe. I think they could have gotten away with it, though, if they brought in, like, the actor that played Giles for, like, backstory stuff, like he's narrating it or something.
Yeah, I could see that.
Or maybe he is in the show still, like, and he's doing things in his present time whilst it's reflecting back on the life he led when he was a youngin, because that way we get to see his performances as Giles, and then we can connect it to the younger version of him. That could also go backwards, and then we could watch the two performances right next to each other and be like, this person sucks. That could happen too, because it's happened before.
But why would you want to do that?
You just don't want that. Could still happen too, you never know. If they want to make more Buffy content, that would be a good way to go. Giles. Bit hard to do Angel now. The guy that plays Angel, a little bit old to play Immortal Vampire, though he could play Human Angel, because Angel was always promised that he'd become a human one day.
Yep. I think it's kind of past the point now where you would have reasonable spin-offs. Like everybody's gotten just that little bit older that they sort of can no longer really portray their younger selves, so it would have to be like an older version of all of them.
Yeah, it would have to be like,
and it'd be very different dynamic.
It would have to be the road, down the road, like what's happened.
Take them to the shops.
Take them to the shops. No, what's happened in their lives, you know, kind of thing. Maybe it's a new generation or something. There was another spin-off devised showing the training of new Slayers, and you'd have Buffy there, and they could still then tackle that school idea, which is what original Buffy was all about, learning to grow up, and it's an allegory for that. It does a really good job of that, so maybe they could do that again, but for the newer generations with newer issues.
Possibly.
We see that they like to do, like everybody likes to do spin-offs nowadays, so spin-offs and crossovers.
I am not a fan of spin-offs.
I know, yeah. You like to have it self-contained, right?
Well, I just like, I prefer a new thing rather than just trying to explore the same world over and over again. Not that that's a bad thing, like, it can be very enjoyable to have a continuity within a world, but I think if you've already done a series, or, like, 2 series, at that point you're kind of pushing it a little far to then have a new thing come up there, because the stakes... It kind of always feels like the stakes don't matter anymore, because the other series sort of require that the world continue, or that there are other characters in the world that could have actually just come and sorted it out. And then when they don't, it doesn't... You have to make some convoluted reason why they wouldn't come and assist, or why they wouldn't come and sort this out, especially because the usual progression of these stories tends to be that, you know, X person gets exponentially stronger until they can defeat the big bad thing, and then that's the end of the sort of the overarching story arc.
I've defeated the gym leader, by the way.
Very good.
This guy's stealing this guy's son. She's like, come with me. You don't mind if I steal your son, do you? Come with me to the White Van.
You're a shit Pokemon trainer anyway. You're not fit to be his dad. Come with me, little boy.
I have a beard. I'm not a little boy, damn it.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
But I can see that. Like, in Angel and Buffy, they're like... Those shows are occurring around the same time. They have various crossover episodes. The characters are crossing over, and they're both dealing with, and they're both dealing with like world-threatening events at the same time, which makes sense because there's lots of different world-threatening events, like even in the real world, and there's lots of different people doing their own thing to try and solve that. Why aren't they helping each other? Well, the answer is because they've kind of got their hands full, and they help each other where they can.
Yeah, but part of the a problem with that a little bit is like, well, you know the series continues, so you know they're going to win in the end.
Yeah.
So the stakes aren't really that high, especially because the other series requires the first series to continue running. But aside from that, the fact that they're running concurrently still means that at the end of either season, you could still say, oh well, this character's died, so this series ends, and that's the end of this series now. So there's a reasonable out in those sorts of things. Whereas if you come back to something later, it's sort of...
Did he just give me Surf, or do I have to talk to someone?
I think you have to talk to Wally's dad, which you probably just did. Check your inventory in your bag. In your book. There's a... I love Critical Role, so just putting that out there.
Just out of nowhere. I love Critical
well,
Role, just
so
so you guys know. Now, moving on.
Yeah, just moving on. Entirely missing over that. No, but the way it's done in Critical Role, I think is an interesting way to do it. Because, and I haven't watched the third run yet, the third season so far, but I've watched all of the first one and most of the second. And while there is the occasional reference to the other places, they're on entirely different continents, so they never actually deal with each other. They never, like, the characters don't come back, the characters don't interact with each other, so it's not a continuation of the story, and it's not a continuation of the story in the same place either. It's set in the same world, but
yeah,
like
I know that in the third one, they pull a character from the interim campaign that was run by that lovely lady. What was her name?
That's a good question. It's Exandria Unlimited is the
Yeah, Exandria Unlimited, the not Matt Mercer GM. She was good though. She was a really good GM. There's a character from that is in the new campaign that they just ported over on that note. But that's like the first time I think that's happened, if what you're saying is true, and that they haven't brought characters straight over before that.
Yeah. And that was kind of like a small in between, not quite a one shot, but like the equivalent thereof. Given that the other two seasons,
it was a shorter
like
campaign kind of thing.
100+ episodes, whereas this was like what, 6? I think.
Yeah, it was super short.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it yet, but I feel like I might get through that one because it's not like crazy.
I
have
should
to listen to it.
I should work on finishing that one.
Well, we could do art and crit roll watching. There you go.
That's an option.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a slightly better way, or more, at least more comfortable for me, way of dealing with that, like working in the same world.
Yeah.
When it's entirely divorced from one another, and it's not just like, oh, here's a like a constant reference to this other character, or this other character is now part of the story.
Yeah, that's I love that so much.
Yeah, I know you do.
Which is which is our weird juxtaposition, because we played it. Hello, Sarah Apocalypse. Hey, we got Sarah Apocalypse here.
Hey, Sarah Apocalypse, how you doing?
We're just talking about.
We're talking about different
crossovers
styles of enjoyment in series, and about spin-offs and crossovers.
Whilst we play some Pokemons.
While we play the Pokemons.
And we've got two different mindsets that we deal with here. The New World Artist, he likes when things don't cross over too much. They can exist in the same world, but he likes to keep the characters and their worlds separate, with maybe occasional references here and there. Because of course, if they're in the same world, you're going to get occasional references. Yeah. Whereas I like to see lots of Easter eggs. I like to see the characters affecting each other's lives in some way, like with the ripple effect. You know, you drop a branch in one game, and then the next game or the next episode, someone trips on that branch in a completely different show. As a metaphor, as silly as that is. That's my thing.
That's exactly the thing I hate.
Yeah.
I think having something that's that intertwined is like, for me, is like, okay, why isn't that one big story? Like, why is it two separate series? And if it needs to be two separate series, why isn't it its own story? Like, why does it require this other story to be the linchpin that allows the first story or the second story to happen? It seems like it's unnecessary. I kind of feel this about like the development of the long arc of Star Wars is probably a good example of that. After the first set of movies were made, it could have been its own self-contained story, and then you move entirely away from it. But then they wanted to make the continuation, so they made the prequels, and then the prequels weren't quite as good, but they had interesting things in them, and then they, then had to make the sequels, the next three, and again, some good things in there, but people don't like some of it. And the story, again, is kind of getting repetitive and sort of not really developing very well. And then they want to bring another 3 set out after that. So it's like, okay, well, what's the point of the story then? If it's just this one long convoluted line of storytelling that doesn't really get us anywhere, when really you could have had a whole new story or a whole new world in a whole new place with, new interesting characters and new interesting developments, and you could have explored all these same morals and issues and character development just without having to reuse the same shit over and over again.
I get it, yeah. I understand where you're coming from.
But you don't think that at all. You're entirely the opposite.
Not entirely, no. So, I see what you're saying, and I can agree with some of it, actually.
Oh, good.
No, so some of that I get. No, absolutely, if you reuse or require the other story to make your story interesting, completely, that I can understand. That would get frustrating, right?
Well, because it means not only do you have to pay
Star Wars
super attention to both, or all of the series or whatever, or all of the movies, it requires a level of interaction with the series that most people don't really want.
Just quickly, where do I surf to, by the way?
So if you go from town left and then down and then surf downwards.
Sir Apocalypse says, you've been telling your friends that from Netherlands they need to teach you Pokemon. You played some when you were young, but you weren't really into it. Yeah, it's a good game, and what we're doing here, PokeMMO, would be a good way to do it as well. You'd be able to play with your friend actively if you were into that.
It's a little fiddly. Pokemon MMO is a little fiddly, but it's still good once you get it going.
Yeah, it's not impossible, and it's
some development to the story that we like.
And we surf. Off we go, so I'm just gonna surf this way. So Star Wars is a good example of the problem that you are bringing up, and that I completely agree with. In the new trilogy of Star Wars, they are completely and utterly relying on nostalgia factor and your knowledge of the previous movies to enjoy it. They don't stand well as stories on their own. Well, in my opinion.
And here's a great counterpoint to that, or an additional point to that. The difference between the Han Solo movie and Rogue One. Rogue One was amazing because it didn't really require you to have a whole great knowledge of the Star Wars universe. It didn't need you to know any of the prior characters. It didn't need anything other. You gained stuff. You gained extra insight if you knew these extra things, but it wasn't the basis of the story. Whereas Han Solo was essentially just fan service. It was making reference to character after character after character, and it was like, hey, did you see that movie? Here's that character you like. Hey, did you see that other movie? Here's that character you like.
I don't like that. To clarify, I don't like if it's only relying on that.
Yeah. But I find that's what a lot of spin-off shows tend to be.
Yeah. Well, so now if you take Mandalorian and if you take Boba Fett, both of those shows, you're going to know more. You're going to enjoy them more if you've seen the other content. If you've seen Clone Wars, you're going to appreciate Mando and Boba Fett a lot more because you see a lot more Mandalorian stuff. You see Boba Fett in the Clone Wars, and it's really good. But, and this is important, you don't need to have watched Clone Wars to enjoy either show. They stand very well on their own. If you can just go and watch them and enjoy the story for what it is. I
haven't seen Book of Boba yet, so I don't know. It is
incredibly good. It's very spaghetti western, and it's slow burn. It takes a long time to build up its plot, but it's good, and I'm enjoying it. We've got another episode coming out tomorrow, actually.
Exciting.
And they haven't. You don't see Mando in it at all, at least not so far. I'm sure he will come into it because they will cross over at some point, but you don't see him, and it doesn't require you to have watched Mandalorian to enjoy it, interestingly enough. You could watch Book of Boba Fett completely separate, and it's very, very watchable by itself.
I think there is some parts around you would have to have watched the movies to understand aspects of it.
Watching the movies, will help for sure.
Yeah. Especially because there's aspects of the movies that basically give context for why most of the stuff is happening, and then it ties into things that happen later on. So you sort of need to know that that's gonna be the case, or it has been the case. Whereas in The Mandalorian, there are aspects of it that are significantly better served if you did know the stuff, but I don't think you would need to actually know any of those things. You wouldn't have to have watched any of the Star Wars movies. You wouldn't have had to have watched the Clone Wars series to understand what was going on necessarily. It would help. Are you saying that you would need to have watched the movies to enjoy Boba more? I think that might be the case. I've heard aspects about that in people's complaints about why the series runs the way it does, but not having watched it myself, I can't say that for certain. But definitely in Mandalorian, like in Rogue One, it's not a necessity. Hey, Groval is evolving.
Groval's evolving. Sarah, you admit that you haven't seen any of them, maybe bits and pieces, but you never really watched a whole Star Wars movie. That makes sense, because the other night I came into your chat, you mentioned that you have a bit of attention deficit, you struggle to hold your attention on a movie for a long period of time. It's got to be something special to grasp you, and I understand. I'm a movie fanatic. I love shows and movies, but there are some things I just can't sit and watch. I have to turn them off. They're drivel to my brain, so I get that. And I think it's probably fair to say that Boba is better served compared to The Mandalorian if you've seen the movies and stuff. I don't think it's necessary. You could watch it on its own, and it stands up. I think but we both seen all the movies.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
You haven't seen Clone Wars, so I suppose you'll be able to still appreciate it without seeing Clone Wars.
Yeah, I've seen a chunk of Clone Wars, but not all of it.
Clone Wars is definitely finishing.
It is
Sexlexia, everyone. The sexiest of mental disorders. Yeah. But. No, yeah, so Clone Wars is definitely worth finishing. It's a good show, and then Bad Batch it's kind of less a spin-off and more of a sequel to Clone Wars, really.
Yeah, I was just about to say, because you definitely have to have watched at least a chunk of Clone Wars to watch Bad Batch. There is so much in there that is this is...
There is a lot of fan service and reference.
This is referencing to this, and this is referencing to this, and if you don't know this, they don't explain it very well. It's kind of assumed knowledge in a fair bit of it.
And it's hard for me to make a judgment on that, because of course I've seen it all when I went into it. I would say it does stand pretty well on its own from my perspective as someone that's seen all of it. I reckon you could go into Bad Batch without seeing any of Clone Wars and still really appreciate the show, and not have to have seen all of Clone Wars. But again, I've seen all of Clone Wars, so I watched it all before I watched Bad Batch. So
that'll be why. There's also part of it that's like your enjoyment of it is not necessarily tied to whether or not you've seen the thing before. Like Bad Batch, Mandalorian, for example, Rogue One are all pretty solid IPs, like stories on their own.
Absolutely.
And then the ones that aren't done as well rely heavily on the existing content to sort of carry them a little bit more. So if you didn't know those stories already, it would probably be an enjoyable story. You would just miss a lot because they don't explain things because they assume you know them. That does happen a bit in Star Wars, I've noticed. It also happens a fair bit in like Stargate and the various Stargates. It also happens a fair bit in like the Whedonverse, the Whedonverse.
Stargate, SGU, and SGA require, like, they almost require you to have watched the original series.
Oh, they absolutely do.
Properly...
If you haven't watched Stargate SG-1, there's almost no chance you watch Stargate Atlantis or Universe and understand any of it.
Greetings, the weary warlords. Universe, definitely. SGA, I think you could still be a casual watcher and enjoy SGA. I reckon that's going to pull you in and make you want to watch SGU though.
I think you could enjoy it, but you would have a hard time catching up.
I think that if a spin-off, this is another point. If a spin-off makes you interested in the original property, if you haven't seen the original property, but still does a good job of telling its own story, so you can enjoy the spin-off on its own, but you still want to know more. Oh, we got a quench.
Hey,
got a quench. Then. Got a drink cactus
juice.
Hydrate. It's the quenchiest.
Or dehydrate if you wish.
I'm only hydrating tonight. Maybe I've got my alcohol on the way. It's coming on Friday. Put it in the post.
Very nice.
Yeah, mail order alcohol.
So I think in that idea, I do agree. If it sends you to the original, that is effective in what it's trying to do. I think the problem,
if it interests you specifically, you really enjoy it.
The problem I think I have is that a lot of spin-offs assume you've seen the first one and assume you understand about the universe's rules, and so it doesn't explain them, and that's a problem. Because not everybody will have seen the entirety of the first thing, and to rely so heavily on an existing IP or existing story to tell the new story means that you haven't done your storytelling well.
Yeah,
like it's not its
I agree
own
with
story.
You on that.
It's like it's a sequel more than it's own thing. And if it's just a sequel, then just call it a sequel. Don't make it a spin-off. Like, make it the original series.
Yeah, also fair. Yeah. Oh, the Weary Warlord asks, are we big Pokemon fans, or am I? And the answer is, I'm becoming quite a big Pokemon fan over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Artist is a huge Pokemon fan. Absolutely huge. But me, I've only just sort of really developed my love of it properly.
Well,
I've been playing through the games.
Proper playthrough the series
of the games. Yeah, I tried out Pokemon Go for a little while early on, but I didn't have a decent enough phone to keep playing it, and I'm kind of glad because I wouldn't want to get back into that.
You didn't want to get sucked in like I did.
Yeah, looking at it now, it's like, oh no. You
don't want to become me. Learn from my mistakes.
Learn from your mistakes. I also know how to make origami Pikachus. Quite proud of that one.
Oh yeah.
Made over 1,000 of them.
Way too many.
Did you? Not enough. Gotta make more. Did you know Farfetch'd was the first Pokemon known to the public? Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that, but did you?
I did. Yes.
Did you know?
I also know
Okay.
that the original art, the concept art for the Pokemon series, was sort of something more akin to creepy monsters and Digimon, and then they sort of pulled it back a little, developed a lot more of the Pokemon, and turned it into the series we love and know today.
He was leaked,
He was
says the Weary Warlord. That's
Boom,
a cool
boom.
name too, the Weary Warlord.
leaked. Get it?
Is there a joke in there?
It's a pun, because Farfetch carries a leak around.
Oh, okay. Like, see, I'm learning things.
It's a joke.
I'm learning things. You see, even Sarah Apocalypse got that one, and Sarah Apocalypse isn't into Pokemon at the
There
moment.
you go.
I'm way behind on that one. But yeah, there we go. But so artist is all the way over there. Like, you're not too far away from me, though, are you? Actually.
No, I'm slowly making my way through this
Water.
area. I've just gone past Dewford, and I'm working my way up Route 107.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We're getting our asses handed to us because water is our bane at the moment. We've mostly got water Pokemon that are getting wrecked by water. I'll just swap out on the bench
I'm
next time
doing
I go back.
amazingly.
It's alright, we'll pull out a gift here.
Because all of my Pokemon are grass and electric, and
Remember when there was enough Pokemon to name them all at once? Now, nope.
yeah, you
That's
could do
how I'll have to-
you could do the Pokerap back in the day. Not anymore.
We'll have to get the New World Artist to list every single Pokemon in existence on some stream, one of our Pokemon
God, no.
streams.
I couldn't. I don't know the newest generations.
That's it. I'm going to create a channel point redemption, and I'm going to have a link ready to go. So we'll get all of them in one go, and artists can just like
why would you
read
do
out
that
the
to
entire
me?
list.
Why would you do that? Fucking rude.
We're going to make the channel point redemption 1,500 channel points. I think that sounds reasonable. That'll give him a couple of streams.
Can I have
someone-
can I have a list in front of me and just read out the list?
Yeah. We're gonna send you the list.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just so
Not
you know,
off the
it's
top
like
of your head.
1,000 Pokemon, so it's gonna take a while.
After the Xbox purchase of Blizzard, you wish Sony bought Nintendo so that we could get PS5 Pokemon. Oh, okay, yeah. PS5 Pokemon.
I have
Be
always
kinda fun.
thought that Nintendo refusing to cross-platform a lot of their IPs is like the most frustrating thing about Nintendo games, because their consoles tend to lack the processing power to make them really pretty. A lot of their games lack in like the pretty factor, because the hardware was never as good, and I've always wanted to see like a much stronger console version of a lot of Nintendo IPs. Since the Switch has come out, we're getting much better ones, but like even back on the Nintendo 64,
like Animal
they could've-
Crossing.
yeah, they could have done much better. Well, I mean, like Zelda.
Oh yeah, Zelda.
Breath
very
of the
pretty.
Wild
Breath of the Wild.
is fucking pretty, and then there's a lot of like artsy games that are really pretty, but they don't use the full capacity of the devices. I think there are some games on like PS5 or PC or whatever, like Valheim is a good example, that are just like outrageously gorgeous, and I think
Yeah, I mean,
Nintendo could do something like that with Pokemon.
You're always gonna have that with PC games, like gorgeousness. PCs have
Master Race.
if built well, they have the capacity.
Oh,
Sounds like
my Magnemite Tempest is evolving.
hell yeah! On that note, Mr. the Weary or Mrs. the Weary Warlord, what Pokemon are you into? Because we're down with naming Pokemon, either myself or the artist.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
name yourself after a Pokemon.
If you would like to be named after a Pokemon, let us know in the chat. It's a long process that requires you to take legal documentation to your local government, and get your name changed formally. If that sounds like too much effort, you could always instead just have us change one of the names of our Pokemon to yours, and that would sort of shorten things.
Psychic over Psyshock. It's a slightly better ability.
For those who don't know,
in
COG's chat, I am running a challenge run at the moment. I am only using Grass and Electric type Pokemon. COG is only challenging himself with having a Pikachu in his party.
My first playthrough, so...
Yeah. Whereas for me, it's
Pikachu.
X, number of X.
Oh, my bot is not revealing the multi. That's strange. Maybe I've turned it off at some point because I was... No, it should be there. Very strange.
Off the multi?
Yeah, I mean, my multi's not turning on. So
I'll chuck it in my chat, and then you can chuck it in yours if you want. There you go.
I mean, I've got the link over here because I'm using the multi.
Okay.
So we have a multi-stream if you guys want to see both perspectives at once. Just do remember that we do not get views on this particular link here, so it doesn't count towards views or anything.
So if you want to
you have
give
another
us the
tab
views,
open.
you'll need to leave the...
You'll also not get
original site.
channel points unless you have a tab open with us as well. Because that's how the multi works. It's just sort of like a cheaper way of doing what we can do later on when we become partners.
Mm-hmm.
We can have like team streams and stuff like that.
Yep.
Artist is quite good at what he does with this here Pokemon. And Sarah Apocalypse says that they once, when they played Ocarina of Time every day after school when they were young.
Oh, Ivysaur's evolving. Ocarina of Time, yes. Amazing game.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time. I personally have not played through the Zelda games. I think I've touched one or two of them once or twice in my entire life. But we have a host of people that have played the Zelda games in our friend group, and one in particular that's obsessed with them, loves Zelda.
I have played 3 of them, 4 of them. I haven't played all of them. I need to get around to doing so. Pedal Dance.
We're just going to keep fighting our way through until all our Pokemon are knocked out.
Pedal Dance over Sleep Powder. Maybe?
But back on that topic we were talking about earlier with the different worlds. So the interesting thing about Artist and I having slightly different points of view on that is that we also share a D&D world. So there is a bit of crossover going on there.
We do.
And I like to see the games interconnect, like characters popping up in different games. I'm big on that. But Artist doesn't want too much of it. So it's like we can balance each other out a little bit. Try and keep things. Derp and Derp. Ooh, that's a cute Coxpock. Coxpog. Can't believe I had to say that. That's hilarious emoji name. Yeah, it says C0x Pog. It's an emote. It's like a little face making a dirt face. It's very cute. Poggers. Poggers. And on the note of D&D, are you excited for our release this weekend, Artist? This is this weekend, right?
I sure am.
It is this weekend. It's the 30th. So
It
we're
is
releasing
on
a
Sunday.
video on Sunday.
Well,
We'll
our
be doing some chats, probably just generally talking about whatever comes to mind, D&D related. After our premiere, we can maybe talk about Artist and how he likes to GM, his character, his mindset, and stuff like that. If you guys are into D&D at all, we'll be doing that on our Sunday at 8:30 in Sydney time.
Yes,
My body
Australian
feels lighter
Eastern
in the
Standard
morning.
is what it's called.
Sydney time.
Sure.
Well, it's based on Sydney.
It is.
Sydney time.
City Town.
It's a lot quicker. Just look up Sydney time, translate. There you go. Jim, what is this? Acquisition Inc.
Oh, I love Acquisitions Incorporated. I
haven't seen that. What is that?
So good. It's a D&D run by Penny Arcade. And they're fucking funny. It's good shit.
Go have a look.
They run a D&D campaign that's essentially like a really dodgily run business. And it's the funniest shit. I love it. They have a long running series at PAX, and
see if this actually works. Breakfast.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Yeah, the bot links aren't working at all. We'll just close down chatbot for a second and then open it back up.
Oh no, chatbot.
Yeah, it's not sharing the links, but we do have a link to the first episode in our D&D game. It's essentially a lightly animated retelling of some of our D&D games with a little bit of creative liberty taken with the story because it was a long time ago and we can't remember everything that happened.
Yeah, this is before we started recording our sessions.
We properly record our sessions now, yeah. Let's try and open chat a lot again.
We will be eventually putting some, or playing some games live on the streams.
At some point, yeah.
But they're probably going to be like small one-shots or mini-campaign arcs rather than big
short
long
things, yeah. And again, there might be like hints and references to our main series here and there, but nothing huge. Maybe it's just like something has happened in the world and it's brought up, or there's an item that you pick up that'll eventually find its way to another game or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you'll hear about the Dark Lord Hastor.
And eventually, I would like to bring some of my other campaigns in.
Hell yeah!
Get that stuff rolling as well, because it would be fun to have more D&D stuff on the channel.
Absolutely. Do we stream exclusively Nintendo video games wise? No, we are very variety around these parts. Very variety.
Cog plays a lot of Sea of Thieves. We both play
playing that just today.
Valheim. A lot of sandbox survival type games. I do a lot of art streaming every Wednesday.
I do a speck of art streaming, but I'm not as good as artist, so I don't do it as often. For streaming, just PC. I do have a PlayStation. I do want an Xbox and a Switch. They're all on my list. It's just about money, timing, and all that. But for streaming, it's just PC, and artist is much the same. Yep. He also has a Switch and has consoles and all that jam, but he only streams on PC. We stream together pretty much every week. On a Tuesday and a Thursday, you'll catch us both streaming, playing Pokemon. When we finish our Pokemon run through, we might do something else on the Tuesday, because I've got a bunch of games that are all-time favorites that I'd love to run artists through as well.
Yeah, we were doing a good job of Diablo 2.
We're taking a long time with Diablo 2, but it was fun.
Yeah. We still need to finish that at some point.
Yeah, hopefully when October rolls back around. So Elden Ring PC stream when? Elden Ring, that looks good, doesn't it? I doubt it though. No time soon anyways. I got so many games. So many games.
I am planning at some point to drag Lizzie Bell in, and we're gonna stream Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley, yeah, very pretty. Very fun one. I think I didn't go the right way.
No?
No, I think I'm lost.
Where are you currently?
In the currents. Route 105.
Ah. Interesting choice.
Gotta go down.
Oh, this is an area.
Lizzie Bell, the Animal Crossing streamer? No. I could see
Lizzie Bell, my beautiful wife.
What about me?
This stream is sponsored by Lizzie Bell. She's probably human.
You did hear your name. We're going to be streaming Stardew Valley together at some point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We just gotta get Lizzie Bell a better computer first.
Yeah. Well, I think she
Well,
could
that won't
probably run
crash.
it off the laptop. I don't think
That
she's
laptop's
going
dying.
to stream
It's
it.
barely.
The laptop has been
barely
struggling
running.
with Discord recently, may I just point out.
Yeah,
They need
it's
to do that.
struggling to exist.
How dare.
Sarah Apocalypse, I heard her say, "What about me?" Yeah, she's in the background
She's
of
there.
the New World Artists, and she pops up sometimes.
She does.
She's lurking our streams somewhere. I go through here, maybe. Oh, no, this is the wrong way. Artist. Oh, I keep going down. Okay. I kind of went off to the side, and I thought that was where I should go.
No, you gotta go across.
We'll be doing some art streams tomorrow too, I think, right, Artist?
Yes, I will be. Not this week, but next week we potentially might not be doing our Wednesday. We might swap it out for Monday. But this week we are definitely streaming tomorrow, and we'll be doing an art stream then. I think we're still going on with our sexy mushrooms. So that's probably what we're
guys are
going to be
interested
working on.
in some sexy mushrooms.
Sexy
Do make sure to
mushrooms.
give the New World Artist a follow and have a look tomorrow at his sexy mushrooms.
If
he
you
also-
would like to, you can check out the Discord. There is an art section there with at least one of the sexy mushrooms on there.
We have an art section on our Discord, absolutely.
But yeah, if we don't do that, there's a couple of other things that I have in mind. I got a couple of emotes that I wanna do some digital art of, and then I also have some art that I need to do for a D&D campaign, which is coming up. So options, lots of options.
For the campaign or the show?
For my campaign that I'm in person running, I need to do some art for that.
Yeah.
Some physical drawing. And then there's also some art that I need to do for the next video, which we still need to work out exactly what we're going to do for that.
Yeah.
Options.
So we've got a script for that.
Sure do.
We've got that ready, so we're working on it at the moment. Hopefully it won't take us another year to make another D&D video, but we've got most of the assets. And the script's done, so it should be much easier this time. Well, the script needs some work.
We say that.
Yeah, the script needs some work. It needs to be edited.
It'll be years before we ever finish. It also doesn't help that we keep playing the campaign through as well. So we keep adding to the videos. Hey, Sarah Apocalypse, how you doing?
Can always do some time skips, here and there. There are some areas there that I'm thinking about doing time skips on. We'll see when we get there.
Let's do some bees and some mushy wiggles in the chat. There you go. Thank you for coming along. I think I'm gonna swap out and put the Pikachu up front. Because even if it dies, if he dies, he dies.
Now your PC now you can see the multi-stream. Hell yeah!
Hey,
So it doesn't work on your
very
phone.
good.
That's right. I've been catching a couple of Sarah Apocalypse's streams. She does some very relaxing gaming streams. Sarah Apocalypse, do you run copyright music on your streams? Those knows.
Are you calling her out?
I'm not. I'm just asking. Yes, you do. Okay. I was like, how did you get the rights to these? It must just be like copyright. Just run on the music. Have you gotten any strikes? You take it out of your VODs. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Just muting it in the VOD.
Yeah. When we do musics that are copyright. At the moment, we're just running our Epidemics sounds.
Yeah.
So stream friendly, and we're allowed to use them in videos as well.
That's it. Most of my art stream is done with Epidemic, but over the Christmas period, I added in my usual playlist, which is all the songs that I enjoy listening to. So it was a nice change to listen to the stuff that we actually enjoy.
You eventually want to edit your streams and do YouTube. That sounds like fun. We do like YouTube.
You should. I need to
Definitely
put my
should.
stuff up on YouTube, actually. I've got so much content, like hours and hours and hours of content, sitting unlisted in YouTube's content creation tool ready to be released that I just haven't done yet because I don't know if I want to edit it or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. And we do the same thing with our D&D recordings. We don't show them straight up because we record them mostly for reference, but we might go back if people are comfortable, like the players in our party are comfortable with it, we might go back and do some smaller edits of some D&D moments as the story progresses, or even maybe throw some of them into our future D&D videos. But my gaming stuff, I just mostly unlist. I upload it to YouTube, and it sort of sits there as more of a reference or anything.
Mine have not been published at all. They all sit unpublished. I should just put them in as unlisted. I think that's probably the better option.
They're just unlisted, so they're all on YouTube. They're uploaded, yeah. Whoa, Poke Center. And a gym. Have you already fought the gym? Did you already win?
What town are you in?
Buford.
We've already done Buford.
Oh.
Do you not remember?
Oh. No. My memory is strange.
That's
I remember certain things and then other things.
If you keep going to the right-hand side and continue sailing your way along, you'll eventually get to an abandoned ship, and that's where I am currently.
So I have a strange memory. I can remember a long way into my past. I can remember things from silly young, or just moments, but not every detail. And then I can remember details of people, conversations with people, and all of that. It comes very vividly. But then when it comes to information, it's on and off. Like sometimes I can remember facts correctly. Sometimes I remember the nutshell of the fact, like what the end of the story was, but not how we get there, which is important in things like math. Like you need to remember the calculation. You can't just remember 2 + 2 is 4. You need to remember the calculation process, which I don't.
And my memory's just shit.
Who needs math? Math was just an example, but yeah, your memory's just shit. So that gives me an advantage in our friend group because when it comes to just situations, I have one of the better memories, but not so much for when it comes to information. For that, we've got Lizzie Bell. She's got tons of information. Hell, actually, all of us in our little group have tons of information, don't we?
We do. We're all experts at different things. We are all fairly well learned.
Fairly clever.
Yeah. I don't give myself enough credit. My memory isn't the worst, but it's just not good a lot of the time. But I do have a vast knowledge. I have a wealth of knowledge, usually random and not useful knowledge, which is not the most helpful.
Is the way. Most of which you got from school, because that's where you get all the useless knowledge. No, I'm joking.
Some of it's from school. But yeah, we've got a few of us are pretty good at remembering certain things, certain types of things. I'm pretty good at random facts and then how things work. Or why things are the way they are, and then just certain situations I will remember, but my memory works in a really weird sort of way, so it makes remembering situations difficult. If I remember the situation, then I remember it really well. If I don't remember the situation, then it's very likely that I'll never remember it ever again.
Even if it's very specifically brought up in exact detail.
Yep. I'll still be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. That never happened.
We've had this conversation about one of our D&D situations. There is a riddle which will be showing up in the 3rd episode of our D&D series. there's a riddle, and they all did it. All of the people, Artist and Lizzie Bell and Experimenter.
I'm not
and the
sure
other
I
players.
actually did the riddle.
So I don't think you actually solved it. I don't think you helped much aside from translating it.
I
But you were there and
translated
riddle
the
was there.
text, and then that was it, I think.
And you don't really remember the riddle at all.
No,
Like,
having read it out, I don't remember ever reading it in the first place. I don't remember the situation happening. I remember the room. I remember the room that we were in. I remember the characters talking about things, but as in the player characters. But I have no memory of this riddle at all. But I remember very vividly the exact moment after this riddle took place. So that's what I mean about my memory.
And I don't blame you. That was a hilarious moment.
It was pretty good.
Ooh, heal block. 5 turns, the user prevents the opposing team from using any moves, abilities, or held items that recover HP. That could be interesting against you in a battle.
It'd also be pretty good in the Elite Four.
Oh yeah, but that doesn't matter. It's just about beating up. I'm joking.
I mean,
I think I
you
might
know, if
swap it
that's
out
how you
for
want to build the
Embargo.
game, you can do it.
No, I think I might swap it out for Embargo because I do think heal block is going to be useful.
Heal block, it essentially does the same thing as Embargo, just better. It's a shorter period of time, which is not as good, but it seems like that potentially sorts.
Well, and
the
it affects
problem.
multiple as well. So if there's like multiple Pokemon I have to fight at the same time, it'll block their healing abilities.
Yeah.
Which is good. Ooh, we're coming in on 10:30.
Sure are.
Going to have to pick a raid target soon, and if we don't, we're going to end up raiding shrimp. So gods, give us a raid target.
I'm so tempted to raid the shrimps. Fucking loved the shrimps.
It's literally just a 24-hour channel with shrimp.
Yep.
Doing shrimp things.
Yep.
We do have a friend called Magus Morgath. We could give him a raid. He's pretty awesome. He's got some of his music on here that we were listening to today.
Damn, I got beaten by these assholes.
Bum bum ba da 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 da. All right, let's put Blue Chew in the front. Oh, look, I've caught up to you. Somehow. I could have sworn you were miles ahead, but I'm catching up.
I'm miles ahead. I've already beaten the section ahead. I just went back to heal.
You beat the gym?
No, I haven't beat the gym yet.
Oh, okay.
But I made my way through the
Making my way downtown, walking around.
The haunted boat.
Haunting a
not
boat,
actually
and it's so good. Oh. Why did you spoil that for me? Come on, my first playthrough. Gosh. It seems like a big plot point.
It is a big plot point. That's why I spoiled it for you.
Terrible. I remember the last Pikachu I had. I was training them up by beating up tentacles for a while. It's just like that all over again right now.
Yep.
You want to battle me? No. Sure, I'll go with you. What?
You want to go?
You are now
son?
challenged by swimmer Beth. Okay, Beth. You're gonna have to flush that Goldeen down the toilet when I'm through with it.
Oh, harsh.
Yeah. Funny story about me when it comes to goldfish. When I was younger, I was...
Where is this going?
No, you teased me. We can't finish the story now. Moving on.
Alright. Sorry, Streamworld.
Yeah, he can't have it now. He teased me. Where is this going? That was
Here,
it.
I will
Done.
tell a story about a goldfish that I know of.
I was gonna say you've heard my story before, but you probably don't.
Probably, I don't remember it.
'Cause, yeah, which is fun. Another fun thing about my friend group is that they often forget things and will tell. Like I can tell them all over again, and they act like they've never heard it before. And also, and this is a particular event that occurs often with Bluebird. They will tell me stories again very excitedly that I've already heard, and I'm okay with it because it's so fun to watch them get super excited about their stories. And at the end, I'm just like, I've heard it before, but I'm happy to hear it again.
What a shit, ruining it.
What was your goldfish story, Artist?
Well, now I'm not gonna tell.
Yeah, okay, so
we were at a house party, as you do, drinking and being silly. 14 years old. No, I'm joking. We're a little bit older than that. Someone had a goldfish or a series of goldfish in tanks,
were the series crossing over, or were they like spin-off series?
They were all sequels. It was just sort of one after the other.
Sequel goldfish.
Yeah. Obviously you can kind of see where this might be going, but
Am I gonna hate the end of this story?
they decided that what they were going to do was to drink heavily and then eat the goldfish alive.
Oh my god! Why?
Because my friends are awful people.
Get better friends.
Yeah, pretty much. And
That
so
is
they did.
pretty damn awful.
They got drunk and then did goldfish shots. So they'd put a goldfish in a small
Was this
glass
including the
with a
person
little
that
bit of
owned
water.
them, or did the person that owned them, were they like not aware of this?
Unnecessary.
Incredibly cruel, incredibly unnecessary. It was not the person who owned the house, or at least the family member of the house owners.
Gosh, it's a horde of...
But they were there and watched it and didn't really do anything about it. I did not partake in eating goldfish.
Were
no.
they caught agape by the fact
Might
that
have
people
been a deal
were just
breaker.
eating their goldfish?
That might have been a
Were
deal
they-
breaker? Maybe?
Were they paralyzed?
I already marry you.
They were not paralyzed. They were very drunk at the time, confused, didn't egg them on, didn't stop it, just kind of was just like, oh, this is a thing that's happening. So...
Afterwards, like, later on, did you find out that they were, like, really... When they realized what had happened?
I mean, they realized at the time what was happening. They...
Well, not legally. You can't legally be aware if you're that drunk. Legally
I mean,
speaking.
they weren't that drunk.
Oh,
But,
okay.
yes, okay, so, an argument around consent and alcohol. If you have been drinking, then you can't legally consent to a lot of things, because that's the way inebriation works.
Letting people eat your fish.
But also, alcohol doesn't stop you from doing things necessarily. It just lowers inhibition. So things you would have otherwise done, you're more likely to
Yeah,
do.
apparently all these people would have otherwise just
Eaten a
gulped down some
goldfish,
goldfish.
Kind of.
Just a live goldfish, I
Kind of.
guess.
But
Oh,
the
that
person
poor
the person
goldfish.
didn't seem to have an issue with it after the fact. So
Well, here's the not haunted boat.
now, what's your story?
It's no.
Just no.
Oh, just no. Oh, I can't believe they just got drunk and like swallowed goldfish. They get all of them?
I don't think so. There was a few goldfish, and it was multiple tanks, and it wasn't a lot of people doing it. It was definitely more than 3, but they had a few goldfish, so I don't think they got them
They had
all.
a few goldfish to drink.
And I have a feeling, I don't know this for certain, so this is more an assumption I'm making, but I vaguely remember them saying something about having had to lie to their parents, and I think what they said was that like they didn't look after it properly while they were house sitting in their own house, and so the fish had died for whatever reason, and so they had just to like flush them down the toilet or whatever.
Right.
But
Yes, because it would be quite hard to tell your parents that all your friends ate your goldfish.
yeah, a little bit.
Those fish are members of the family. Some people would consider them family. Some people might just consider them decoration. But like me personally, if I had a pet, the pet is family. So you eat my pet, I'm gonna kick you in the teeth.
You eat my pet.
You eat my family. You eat my pet, I'm gonna kick you in the teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Damn right I will.
The world is an interesting place, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not saying that violence is the answer, but that's how I'm gonna deal with the situation in that moment. I'll be pissed.
Do things like down live goldfish.
Yep, that's the thing.
There are some places. Yeah. There are some places where they eat live, like, mice babies, and they just dip them in soy sauce and eat them raw.
Yeah, that's.
So,
I've
like,
eaten
live animals
a snake heart.
Yeah, but that was dead. It had to be.
I mean, it was
Unless
still
you were, like,
beating at the
tearing-
time. So.
They just took it straight out and just.
Yep.
Yummy. Yeah, so that's not healthy for you, just so you know. But at least the animal was like.
I mean, it's not the most healthy, but it's also not the most unhealthy.
It's unhealthy for the snake.
It is
It
definitely
could-
unhealthy
it-
for the snake. It killed the snake outright.
I was gonna say it could kill you as
I'm
well if
shocked.
the like bacteria in that thing, because you haven't cooked it, so the bacteria in it could literally kill you.
Yes, it's true.
Hence,
You are correct.
very
sir.
not healthy. You survived.
I sure did.
Well done.
It was also not the nicest
Yes.
thing, I'll be honest.
He has a civilization of bacteria living in his gut.
I mean, I would think by now it would probably have made its way through and you know, everything had cleared out. If
That
that were the case.
civilization. It's like an entire city of the snake people living in your gut.
Fair enough.
So I feel like I should get rid of submission, right? But it's my only fighting ability that I have on this character. I've got Mega Kick. But it's a normal physical, not a fighting type, so... I guess Feint is the one to take out for it, because then I keep a fighting ability that
Oh,
way.
the mosquitoes have come to attack.
No.
There it is.
Mozzies!
Murder it.
Oh, I can't murder it. It's all the way over there and I'm on stream.
Oh,
Oh, sad noises.
Zip, I'll murder it.
It's the one thing that she will encourage me to murder.
I'm allergic to them.
Yeah.
In my defense.
Yeah. No, that's reasonable.
Is it reasonable? Is it?
They attacked
Yes.
me and caused me great distress.
Yeah. I still...
Self-defense.
I've gotten to the point where I do actually even try and let mosquitoes live. I don't let fleas live. They're about the only thing that I just squish on the spot.
You try and let mosquitoes live? What's wrong with
Yeah,
you?
I try not to just smack them off. I just brush them off because I don't like killing things.
Terrible. It's kill or be killed. You gotta go around murdering everything.
They're
Otherwise,
in
what's the
my
point?
House.
Exactly.
It's a specific problem because they're in my house attacking me and
I'm
allergic
not
to them.
judging
They
you.
can be outside and live, but they're inside and I'm allergic.
I'm not judging you. I'm just saying I don't kill them because I don't like killing things. It's a
He's
problem.
not
It's
judging you. He's just says them.
I believe that he's judging me.
I'm not.
I mean, it's a little bit judgment.
I'm not judging you. I judged you for how excitedly you bought a mouse killing device.
That's different though. That was important, and she did the research. She likes research. That's what it is. She would have been as excited as if she had bought some other device because she researched it.
Research the device. Yeah, that's reasonable.
Because you were so gleeful about the electric mouse killer that you had found.
I actually was not gleeful about it. I really hated the whole idea of it. I did not want to kill the mice, but we were in an actual place.
But you were gleeful about having found it.
The trap was cool. It also was awful, and I don't touch it. Ever.
Yeah, that's true.
I like the concept of...
Yeah.
She maybe put it in the other room.
I specifically got a trap where you can't see that they're in there, because I didn't want to deal with them, and I can't handle them being in regular traps. It's really distressing to me. So,
yeah, I understand.
Cool concept, still hate it.
I got super depressed after I killed a spider the other day. Also, I had to kill some ants as well. Didn't like that.
Oh, ants! No. What have the ants ever done to you?
Well, I wasn't intentionally killing them. It's just I had to like spray down in front of their path. So a trick to deal with like ant trails. It doesn't stop the ants from getting into your house at all, but it does sort of like gives you time. And time's all you need before winter comes along and they stop like spreading like ants.
Spreading
so
like ants?
You get bug spray and you find their trail, like where they're coming in, and you spray that area and you spray it on the ground and around the area up and down. So they have to take some time to build a new trail if they want to come in to find the food.
Fair.
Because or the poison has to like sort of dissipate, which does eventually happen as well. But because that area has something there that's poisonous to them, they won't keep using that ant trail. They'll make a new one.
I just use ant sand and chuck it over their nest so that they die.
There's no need. They're not harmful at all. You can eat them in your food and it doesn't cause you any harm.
Sure could. You know what else you could do? Kill them.
There's no need. There is no need to kill the ants. Mice, maybe. They're spreading plague, but the ants don't.
So, the ants can destabilize large sections of ground, which if they're around your house, that's not great. And then they get in things, which is annoying, and
yeah, I suppose the destabilization...
They can spread disease. They don't often, but they can.
Very, very rarely.
Like an excuse
It is an excuse. But and then also like if you let them just sort of be, they will grow and spread. Like one
if you let
colony
them sort of
will breed multiple other colonies, and then you have your entire house or backyard full of ants, and that's not great. I think the little black ants, like the common ant, is not as much of an issue, but if you've got like bull ants or red ants or any of the larger...
or termites.
Oh, definitely, if you see termites, you fucking kill those things on sight.
Yeah, termites are an issue. They break down everything.
You don't want termites. But like if they're just small black ants, it's usually not an issue, but I would still try and do something about it.
Bull ants don't tend to come inside, so if they've got like a... Really?
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
Okay. We don't really have that issue here. On occasion, I've seen bull ants inside in places, not here where I live currently, but in other places that I've lived or stayed for periods of time, but not in large quantities. So usually it's just like throwing a spider out of the house. And you just tend to leave the nest alone. It depends how close it is, though, to important areas, like where you walk all the time, because you don't want to... If you're like me and you like to walk barefoot, you don't want to get bull ants biting your feet all the time. Like, they can leave some marks, especially if they're...
They also sting.
Well, that's what I'm saying, yeah. They can sting. Like a mofo. It depends what kind, too. Some of them are worse.
We get big ones, and we get a lot of them. So... through, well, just any time really, but at the moment it's particularly bad. and like the whole street will be like a series of colonies. So every path has like little holes and mounds and stuff. The whole backyard will be full of them. The sides of the house will have, you know, little colonies here and there. And if you leave them for long enough, they come inside. They start crawling up your walls and stuff. And like we've had a few in the bedroom. So like while we've been asleep, they've just like started crawling on the bed.
Oh, you don't want that. Oh,
no, you don't.
Wake up, there's a bull ant pinching your nose.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we get for living in the country.
Yeah, so I found when I, like, the place that the bull ants were the worst was in a country area, it was a caravan park, actually, where they were the worst for coming inside. They still didn't do it very often, but you could get a few of them, and they had, like, a lot of little nests all over the place. When I was very young, got my first experience dealing with bull ants because there was a bull ant nest on school property that they really actually should have gotten rid of, now that I think about it, because that's a health hazard.
Sure is.
But that wasn't a good school back then, but it was primary school. And there was an ant nest and kids would go over there and mess with the ants.
Of course they would.
I never got bitten by them myself, but I've seen a lot of my friends get bitten by ants. I would encourage them to play with the nest. It was funny.
Why would you do that? What a shit stirrer.
I mean, I'd play with it in the exact same way. I just didn't get bitten because I was more careful than they were.
Terrible. Alright, have you, whereabouts are you?
I'm in the boat.
You're in the boat, alright.
But if you're ready for the end stream fights, then I can stop fighting things in here. Is there a reason I'm fighting things in here, story-wise,
or
or
is fight
it
things in there? They're just, you know, it's experience.
Oh, I'm just checking.
What on earth is this?
You've heard this one. This is the Ride the Train song.
Oh, this is the ride that train.
And even if we go through the adventure list and get rid of all the weird dubsteppy electro stuff, we're keeping this one. Let's ride this train. Because admit it, you like it. You like it.
Like is a strong word.
He's just pulling our legs. TT Sam, hello. Hey buddy, how you doing? It really is.
Ride that train.
See, you like it. I told you. What did I tell everyone?
So ridiculous.
He likes it.
The other country song has definitely grown on me. I don't know about this one. Yeah, that one is great. Gonna have that at my second wedding.
It's gonna be like that episode of How I Met Your Mother where they've got the 500 miles playing stuck on repeat in the car. This song's gonna grow on you. Let's ride this train. You're gonna hear it in the playlist. It's gonna grow on you.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Sarah Apocalypse lol. Come on, Sarah Apocalypse, don't you like this song? It's cool, right? Very country.
Will you be riding the train, Sarah Apocalypse?
Not bad. See, there we go. It's got the Sarah Apocalypse tick of approval.
Does it though? Does it actually?
Not bad is not disapproval.
Is it though?
I'm gonna have to put this song on repeat in the playlist now so that it plays more.
You're shit.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you are.
Ooh, that's it. Channel point redemption.
You're an awful person.
Channel Point Redemption. I play Ride This Train again. Then another Channel Point Redemption, which is I add Ride This Train to the playlist again.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let me come and find my way out there. Maybe I'll suicide some pokies so that I can fight you quicker.
You've never actually ridden on a train before. There's a station near your town. That's terrible. C0gnitivebard,
Wow.
get yourself on a train. Come on now.
Don't Yanks have like really good train systems? Or do they have like just a couple of like big trains that cross various distances, but not a lot of like smaller train networks?
What? What are you talking about?
Well, C0gnitivebard is American, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong there. And America has like a whole bunch of like interesting train lines and train networks, don't they?
Is she? Why did
far
I
as
think
I
she
know.
was like Swedish or something?
Oh, well, she's definitely not Swedish.
C0gnitivebard, where are you from?
C0gnitivebard, apparently you're Swedish. Congratulations.
Hurdy-gurdy.
We need some Swedes in the chat right now to
Admonish me?
admonish him. Hurdy-gurdy.
Rude and flirty.
Totally a New Yorker. What? You're a New Yorker. That's the train city. That's the trains and trams city in America. Everyone knows there are trains all over the place in New York, right?
I mean,
That's the
in New York, like the city, sure, but like New York.
Oh, New York,
the
but you've never
state.
been to New York City, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't read the whole thing. I'm sorry.
And
I
if
got caught
you,
up. Never been.
I like the other part of that would be as well, if you haven't traveled, which a lot of Americans don't, you potentially
You're
wouldn't have
country girl.
experienced a lot of other types of transportation. Not to
apocalyptic
stereotype
country.
all Americans,
Little bit
but
country.
you know, that happens.
I mean, we stereotype Americans all the time. They stereotype themselves.
They stereotype
they
us,
stereotype-
so we
Yeah.
sort of, it's a
Give as
back
good
and
as we
forth.
get. It's a back and forth.
Are you trying to make the claim
You
for
grew
racism
up with-
right now?
No, I'm mutual racism.
That's it. Dig that grave.
Yeah,
Oz.
well, I'll get to China eventually.
China's not the opposite of Australia.
It
on
is.
The globe.
It sure isn't.
Damn it. I think you'd be more likely. What is the opposite of Australia?
I believe it's ocean technically if I dug straight down, but I think it's somewhere near the UK. Is our polar opposite.
Really?
But I don't know that to be fact, so you could probably Google it.
I'll
Google it
that and
now.
come
Here,
back.
I'll Google it now.
I was gonna say we'll Google that. We'll come back on our next stream
Opposite.
with like.
Points of globe, Sydney. That's close enough.
Sydney.
The
I got sent back to
antipode of
Juiceford, by the
Sydney
way, so-
is. Hey, I wasn't far off.
Battle, a fighting tree.
Portugal. Oh, technically.
I guess it would also depend on what part of Australia, because there's a lot of Australia. So, is there any of Australia's landmass that like polars onto that coincides with another landmass on the other side?
Search more antipodes. Antipodes? I don't know either. Or.
Thank you, C0gnitivebard. Parallel 2. Look at C0gnitivebard has way more learning than me.
As you go further towards Western Australia, if you go further west, you
Why
get
would
closer
you want
to
I'm joking.
the Americas. Get closer to like Cuba and the American East Coast. as you go towards Sydney and the east,
Sydney.
you get closer to Africa and to Portugal, which would be the closest. If you go down towards Tassie, you get slightly closer to Europe, but you're still pretty close to that African continent. So I was off a little.
But there's no part of Australia that, like, if you were to just have a straight line that parallels with another part of landmass.
Islands. There are small islands in the sea there.
I'll have to pick one that has an island. Yeah. Island. And then we'll claim it for Australia. We'll have a tunnel straight through.
Tunnel from one end to the other. Through the
It just
center of
plays-
the
it
earth,
just
the
plays-
molten center of the earth.
And it just plays Land Down Under on that island on repeat, just so everyone that passes by, they hear it.
Well, I approve. For a second there, I thought you were going to do Sandstorm. And I was like, that is not Land Down Under.
That is also Australian, so yeah, it could... That's very Australian. It's a very Australian song.
No, it's not.
It's from Australia.
Yeah, but it's not an Australian song.
It's an Australian song.
No.
It's Australian techno.
It's got nothing Australiana about it.
It's urban Australian. Have you seen the music video? They're running through the streets of one of our cities. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, if you can't remember, that it definitely isn't Australiana.
Well, you know, it's generic Australian city number 2.
Oh, Melbourne.
Oh yeah, actually, I think it is Melbourne. I think the Rude Sandstorm was using Melbourne as a backdrop. It was either Melbourne or Sydney. It was one of our bigger, more popular cities.
It doesn't look
I'm waiting
like
in-
Sydney, necessarily.
I'm waiting in Duford for you, by the way.
In Duford, I'm waiting in, what's it called? Slateport.
Oh, I thought you wanted to just go straight up. I haven't gotten to Slateport yet. I'm way behind.
You could talk to Mr. Briny,
And he'll take me there?
and he'll take you there.
It's tempting.
It also means that technically you don't have to do that other section. It's optional. You don't get anything for other than XP for swimming your way across to Slateport.
Swimming my way downtown, walking around. We're having a bloody hoedown.
If he still is there, actually, because now that I mention it, I don't see him here on the beach. So he might have disappeared now that you've got the now that you've got surf. He might be like, oh well, you can do it yourself. Fuck off, bugger.
Yeah, but fast travel is still cool.
It is, but if it's not there, it's not there. Is he there? Can you see
Let
him?
me have a look. I was meddling with my Pokemon. He's not here on the port.
Alright, I'll swim back to you then.
I mean, I guess we could meet in the middle of the water, but then we'd have... no, we could. But there's no fighting tree.
There is no fighting tree, this is true. Can't do a fight without a fighting tree.
We need to have a fighting tree, and I found some little trees here that look perfect. This one in particular. Seems like an appropriate fighting tree. So, Apocalypse, you should try out riding a train sometime. Put it on the bucket list. Maybe not during COVID times, though. Wait a little bit, let COVID calm down, but definitely put that on the bucket list, and then tell us how it was. Get back to us. Review the train experience. Do some training.
Do some training.
Probably barf from motion sickness. Well, there's some trains that, yeah, you'd probably barf from motion sickness.
Possibly.
That's reasonable. Well, so four-wheel drives, they're probably a bit more janky. I think American trains have like the big, wide train tracks as well.
It depends pretty wildly on where you are.
So the amount of bumping and motion, I guess, depends. Train on trains. Exactly. Do some training.
Do some Pokemon training.
Yeah, play some Pokemon whilst on a train.
There you go.
And then you're literally a Pokemon trainer.
Nailed it.
You know, that is if you
tentacle.
choose to.
Boo!
No, you liked that one. You liked it almost as much as the song. Which you really like, I can tell.
I do not. No interest in this song.
In Ride This Train. No, this one.
This song's pretty good, actually. This song reminds me of Book of Travels, which, oh, just a beautiful game.
Oh, that's another one I'm supposed to play with you at some point.
Yeah. But
There's a
unfortunately,
whole thing I was waiting on for that.
requires some more updating and some more content to be added into it. But it is still a gorgeous game and lots of fun.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. So here's our fighting tree. We're men who fight.
All right, let's do this. It's time.
Poke battle. Got some really relaxing music playing as we have our epic
Same
Poke battle.
tactic. Interesting.
We've got the same ones.
Interesting.
It's like rock, paper, scissors if I do it enough, you know?
Alright. Interesting choice.
Mm-hmm. Let's go. Bit of a Psybeam there.
Killing the Pikachu early.
Well, hopefully we're killing both pretty early. There we go. Got a burn on you. Sparking. Sparky, Sparky, Boom Man. Oof. Very, very painful. Good hit. Oof. Parlez-vous français? A little bit of burn on you there. Now we know that we're faster than you.
Yeah. You're definitely faster than me now.
Which lets me take out your pokies. Like, I was like, oh, there's some damage that they were dealing there. That could be a problem. Then I was like, wait, I went first. They can't hit me. I learned something from that trainer in the last gym.
Finally.
Finally. Sir, they've started to sing. Now, that was one Christmas tradition that I didn't do this year. I have a weird Christmas tradition where I like to watch all of the Pirates movies, or at least what the heck is that? Oh my god, that's huge.
What the heck is what?
That Venusaur thing is giant. Look at that. You've got a bit of a growth there. Alright, you might move first, because that's your starter, so it's quite quick.
This is not my starter.
Oh. Okay, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about, guys.
Let's see what's happening.
Spending your entire life on just one leg.
One leg.
Wait, well. One leg whilst you've got two perfectly good ones with one leg up in the air. Like, I wasn't meaning to reference paraplegics or anything.
How dare you?
How dare I? Ooh, you guys moved first that time. Okay. That's good to know. Well, I don't... In that case, I don't think there's much... We'll try. We'll try. Thunder Punch, yeah, okay.
Quack.
Pedal Dance. Bang. Alright, 2 for 2.
Ooh, combustion.
Combustion out. And the literal moon.
The literal moon.
Thunder punch.
Whack.
I'm gonna survive at least one thunder punch. Oh, but maybe not both of those. Oh, I did! Just. And combustion. Oh, no.
Take that.
Rude. So rude. Ooh. Yes. I was hoping the protection would save me from that too. I was like, oh, it still hit me. It had the animations. I was like, shit. It said protection from everything. What the hell?
Nope, there it goes.
Yeah, that leech seed's not gonna do much if you dead.
Oh no, you misunderstand. That's not for
What?
Venusaur.
What is so? Wait, does leech seed work on all of your?
Yeah.
Ah.
It has seeded Lunatone. You're the literal moon.
Okay then. Good to know. Oh, you got me.
Take that.
Aha! Oof, ow, ow.
Oh, what a shit.
Not sure if that was the best choice, though, to be honest. It still does damage to me. Look at that.
Just doesn't heal me.
Yeah, it doesn't heal you, which is good for me, but I don't know if that was the right move. We'll see.
I can't use the move at all because it heals? Bullshit.
Alright. Ow, ow!
Take that.
Just like, fuck your Pikachu. Oh, you got them both? Okay.
Fuck the Pikachu
The moon
in
is dead
particular,
too.
but also the moon.
But also the moon. Fuck the moon! Woof!
Oh, I've won this one.
I think you have, yeah. You definitely have.
Still can't use it because of heal block. Bullshit. Alright, I'm not gonna risk it. Play the safe.
Oof. She knew I was going to do that and the bubble beam, then that doesn't work, but that's alright. Yeah. Then I hit you. I might potentially do some damage.
You
Enough
will.
to kill? Probably not.
Probably not enough to kill, but definitely some damage.
Oh, not a
That's
lot.
the bubble beam.
Alright. And that finishes me off.
Yes. Da 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 da.
Alright. Alright, I'll get a Pokemon for you.
Winner! A wiener is me.
I thought I was giving you a run for your money there for a little bit.
You did a good job. You stopping me from being able to use healing moves is a pretty big deal because a lot of my Pokemon have heal-based moves. So that's one thing. And then on top of that, the slight change up of tactics got me.
Well,
I was on the ropes for a minute there.
I repeated the same tactic at the start, sort of give you the idea that I'd be doing the exact same thing as last time.
Cheeky.
But I'd also changed up the Pokemon. So, although Parlez-vous Français, I think, was the weak link in that one.
Yep.
He wasn't as good as he could have been. So,
Fair.
his abilities are just not on point. Get in there.
Oh, Minim.
Yeah, you can actually use this one.
Sure can, but I'm not gonna.
Why not?
I don't like plus all a Minim. They're... Eh.
Okay, we're coming up on raid o'clock.
We sure are. There's a Pokemon player here on my list. Curdle Games.
His name is Curdle Games.
And then
Playing
there's
Emerald
another
as
one,
well.
Cognitive
And
Beard.
it's called the New.
I gotcha! I beat ya!
You bastard!
I
Every
distracted you.
Yeah, Curdle is literally playing Emerald, so that is a tempting role. I would say either Mags or Curdle, because Mags is awesome. We could
What's
go
Mags
for a
doing?
raid on him. He's playing something called Hell Let Loose, so it's doing a little bit of excitement going on there.
Yeah.
We could do like a coin flip or a roll. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a roll.
Let RNGesus tell us where to go.
RNGesus take the wheel.
RNGesus with a G take the wheel.
So, what are we going to do? Odds or evens?
Well, I think odds has to be Curdled Games, given like what we rated into them on last time. They are just very odd, and it's fun. It's their personality. It's amazing.
All right, odds is Curdle, even is Mags.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So, the New World Artist is doing a rollover in his stream.
That is a 14 evens. We're gonna Mags.
Evens. All right. Looks like we're going after Mag.
Chuck your...
Have you not followed Maggots yet?
No, I have not followed Maggots.
Okay, well, here is his tag. And let's set up the raid.
Thank you.
Well, that makes this a good raid then, because then you can follow an extra person, say hello. You've met him though.
I have. I know who this person is. I have seen their stream before. I just haven't followed it yet.
Yeah. And there was a very funny thing that happened with this guy. We went to a thing called Quest, which is like a LARP event. We're all camping and stuff. And if you've seen Game of Thrones, there's a moment there where you get like one of the characters gets molten lava poured on their head because he's demanding that he gets a crown. It's hilarious. We have a moment exactly like that where we pretend to pour molten lava on his head, on Magus's head. It was hilarious. And then just to top it off, someone actually had a cast of like a lava hat, looked like a golden beanie or something that was made of silicon, so it looked like gold had been poured over his head, and we just kind of on his head at the end there, and it surprised me, it surprised everyone. No one knew it was coming. It was beautiful. Crown for
Alright,
king.
if you have subscribed to me, there is my little raid wiggles, so you can copy that. Otherwise you can just do your own. Make sure you give them some love. I'll be back tomorrow with art things. So if you're keen to see some art stuff,
it's raiding time.
Check us tomorrow. My raid's almost about to go, so.
Hell yeah! So we'll be back on Thursday for sure, and I might be back tomorrow. We'll see how we're doing.
Right.
Let us know when the countdown is, artist.
The countdown is gone. 3, 2. Thank you very much. Bye, guys.
Thank you very much, everybody.